Right, time flies. So March, April, May, June, July, August. We are in our sixth AI tools, hacks, and Ask Me Anything webinar. So thank you for all love and support. I think when we started, it was like what AI versus human, etc. We come a long way from where we are. So and today we are here, August the 10th. So some of you or most of you might be on holiday. If you're watching this recording, catch up in your own time because I know nearly a lot of people watch up on the recording. So this is where we started. You always come back. The good news is I'll share. We have five people who have attended every single thing, and interestingly, the five of you are here today. I have something for you. So thank you. Thank you for joining. So keep the chat open and introduce yourself and keep that. This is where we started, which means we saved or I saved myself from going drown in this AI thing, and which whatever I learned, I shared it, and there's a lot of people have moved on, but still you find a lot of people just talking about the basics for a long time, where we have done nearly 22 bits with AI, and nearly 1,300 people have listened to what we have done so far, and you are right on the front from the beginning, so you're right there. So thank you. So March, April, we looked into certain elements, regulations, and that's where the GPT-4 was launched. That's the main thing. And then in May, we moved on and we shared for the first time, okay, you could actually start to use it for the bids, because we have been quietly doing it from my times. And that's why you see the sponsored webinars. This was the conference that happened in May, and still it continues, which means you are always going to find AI tools-based company, because funding is now available to a lot of people. If the moment you mention AI, or you just say, now we have added AI to it, which means there are a lot of people who are going to come in. And since proposal community, there is an industry body, and you're going to be used and misused, you're going to be sold to those sponsored webinars, that stuff, that's unfortunately, that's it, because I just want to stay away from all those selling and then focus just on the content and focus on you, how you can use it. That's the important thing. So, and that's why we talked about it. And then we kind of launched, okay, fine. We initially launched only the AI Power Bidder course. Then in June, we launched the Proposal Mastery. And then based on the feedback, because I wasn't able to answer all the questions, so most of the questions that we received, we started to answer through our training program. So July was very intense. We are doing it in graphics workshops as we go. As graphics bootcamp is inaugural, or the only one that we do is happening as we speak, but it's all happening. So we looked at alternate of, okay, is it just ChatGPT? Bard, I don't know anybody has used Bard. Keep it more, conversation, but Bard has gone down badly. But it's, I don't know what your experience is. Please do add it. But I don't use Bard anymore, so I'll come to it. But I use ChatGPT, which is a lot more better now, and then the other tools are also coming up, which we'll also touch. That's where we looked into last time. But in July, that's where we actually got a credible, I wouldn't say competitor, but you have another version, which is Claude came in, and we looked into what Claude does it. Anybody using Claude? Please let me know. Yes, but Bard is good. But Bard does images, but anything more is a challenge, Jason. But you might be on your own there, but I'll leave you. Well, thank you for sharing. But anyone has used Claude, because I have a lot of love for you if you use it. If not, please do use it. It's amazing. So Perplexity AI, which we'll also talk about now. Use it. It's very, very good, because it's very, because the data said you can actually upload a document and you could ask questions about it. You just need to give it some time. Secondly, it can take up to 75,000 words, which is a lot more compared to GPT-4 that what we have in ChatGPT. But what ChatGPT's focus ultimately. Hi Sandeep, welcome. Hello all, everybody who has shared who you are from. Welcome. So the underlying principle is, just play with it. That's it. We looked into AI frameworks. Again, don't be overly bogged down. NIST, National Institute of Science Technology, just go use it, and have a look at what the framework is. Otherwise, just send me a message. We'll see what we can do to help you with creating your own organization's ethical use of AI, within your company. That's it. So PMP, we were talking, interestingly, we had a conversation about PMP because a PMP, their syllabus hasn't been updated from 2015, right? The whole world is AI. PMP, on the other end, even wrote an article about this. PMP, on the other end, update their articles, update their certification every 3 years. The body of knowledge now includes everything is refreshed by AI. And now AI project management is now because Accenture alone made $130 million just on AI consulting in these 3 months between April, May, June. Right, 130 million, which means they come in and look at, okay, what are the possibilities of employing AI within your organization? And that's it. And okay, now we are going to implement AI. Meant like as a project manager, you need to know what AI is. So PMP jumped on it. So if you're taking PMP certification now, which I strongly recommend because we can also train you towards that, which we are working at the moment, it's actually aligned to AI. So again, that's interesting. Again, what I want to cover now, and we also looked at, okay, there are still people who are still searching in Google. How many of you still search the content in Google? Anyone? Yeah, I've stopped searching in Google a long time ago. But what I use now is Perplexity. Right. So yeah, as I mentioned, July was very busy, and we had a lot of master classes and free master classes, and now most of it are now uploaded in our YouTube channel. Just go and have a look, and all these things. So as I mentioned, there are 5 people who have joined pretty much all the, or not pretty much all the AI tools, and you also have joined today. So again, I want to wish you all. You're going to be invited to join the AI Write workshop. That's a little thing that I can do because you have been curious. But I know, it's an uncertain situation. You might not be able to afford, but that shouldn't stop you because you are being invited. So again, some of you are here. So Jenny, you are there, and Christine, you are there. Jason, I know because you already wrote the story, so you are invited. Hazel, you are the top winner for last month, anyways. You are there. Mariano, you are there. And there is one more who is not here, who I actually saw. So Jason Tucker, Jenny Roma, Christine, Mariano, you all have attended the past one, but I might pick up 2 more from this list from today. I'll tell you in a surprise email, which means you'll be invited to join the AI Writer workshop, which is fine. That's a little thing that we can do for you because you are giving 1 hour of your life and you have been consistently giving it for a long time. That's it. So thank you. So these resources are already there available. But what we're also doing here is, because again, at the moment, what we are doing here is the office hours webinars, because 2021-22, we actually invited a guest every week. And we did it because, again, we added it part of the Scribble Academy, which is now only $25 a month. We reduced it because there is 300 hours of content. Even if you do, there is a full-time project, it's going to take it 3 months for you to access every single thing within Scribble full-time. If you do part-time, it's going to take you 6 months. But if you skim like 2-3 hours, it's going to take you a year. But what we have done is office hours webinars, when we hosted it, and it's called the Scribble Teaching Podcast, it's all now been done it. And all the APMP materials that we have is all been reinstated. So if you're looking into foundation practitioner or anything is there, and in YouTube, we have also pumped in some of the content related to APMP inside. So that's it. So look into a lot of content comes in. Obviously, we need to have a nice video editor, a couple of video editors at least who can make it look good, make that into nice little shots and stuff, crux of key messages. But anyway, we are there for you. It's just there. We are here to democratize bidding knowledge, and we had a good punch this year about somebody who's tried to stop us there. But that's it. I will, Lucy. I will. Don't worry. So primarily that's it. We are here for you to succeed, not by doing anything. So Perplexity. If you're not using Perplexity, I honestly, before I get into the AI tools, I just want you to actually go with this one as well. So Google search, yes, you do Google search, right? But Perplexity takes it to a different level, which means it still gives you all the links, but it also writes it in a nice way. So I just want you to start to use it, because the Italian trip that I did recently with Alps, I used Perplexity to actually confirm, because I made a mistake of going to Claude. And Claude, I used everything, mapped it out with Claude, because Claude had the latest inputs. The moment I went to tell Knowles, only 10% of what I had in the hiking map was actually real. So I have to put it down in the bin. And I just literally looked at the mountains, just like that mountain, this mountain. So I had to cross these three mountains to get to that village. Okay, it's all mental map. None of it worked. But but Perplexity doesn't give you anything because that sort of area is not marked. So what I'm trying to say here is, you know, Perplexity, if you're on a Google search, if you think, and I still want to have the answer to my query, but I want to have evidences or proof behind every single thing what it says, Perplexity is your thing. So every day in the morning, I open Perplexity, I open Claude, and I also open ChatGPT. And then I kind of go through it, ask the same questions, or I try to do it differently because Claude data points is up to March 2023, whereas GPT is logically amazing. So I get the latest information from Perplexity, confirm the links, test it out with Claude, then I write it nicely with ChatGPT. So I just want you to experiment all three. So that's what I just want to share. This one I wouldn't recommend at all. Poe, we tried it. I know I shared it with you last time. It's still a product of ChatGPT, but discard it. I mean, like at the moment, I need to be useful. So I'm not going to reiterate too much about it. I'm sure all of you received the AI Scoop newsletter. And now, in the past, I used to have someone who edits it for me, but now I'm personally editing it myself. So it's going to get more and more dense and more complex. And I might even use an AI tool to generate the AI newsletter. But all these tools are very expensive. It's like $500 a month, $2,000 a month, but it's very, very comprehensive. So I'm going to experiment, say, November. It will be purely AI driven, input by me, but because AI newsletter should be done by AI, right? Otherwise, that's not right. So that's my thought process. But let me quickly summarize what's in the world of AI just before we open the quest. Just be prepared, have your coffee and others. I know some of you it's 8:39 in the evening, but we can have a look into that as we speak. Oh, nice, Sandeep. Well done, you. That's amazing. So obviously, now the AI classifier, which I told you before, that talks about whether AI is plagiarized, etc. In OpenAI, they just removed it because it was just a basic tool. They never invested on that, so they pulled it back. So if you're trying to use it, you might need to find something again. As long as you mark, as you find here in Medium, more and more organizations are with thought leadership organizations are actually pumping content towards it. But simple thing is they are just asking you, hey, can you just tag and say this is AI generated, 100% AI generated versus human prompted generated content, etc. So that's it. So so primarily they're just asking you to just tell yourself, hey, this is AI generated, right? That's okay, fine. Let's just go with that. So AI.com, which used to be ChatGPT. Obviously, Elon Musk paid a lot of money to got it back. Adobe Firefly, if you're not using Adobe Firefly in the graphics workshop, which we'll experiment now in the coming days, I ask you if you have the Adobe suite of tools, I suggest you go and do it, because what it does is in the past it just what we call a generative fill. Generative fills is you can use a prompt to create a message, but now you could actually extend the images using any images that you actually got it, which is designed by a human or you designed by off the shelf any image that you have. You can actually extend it now with in Photoshop with this with the AI. So Adobe has extended it. So if you're using any graphics tool, you can also see it. So it's not generative fill, it's generative expand. So in the quiz, I've added a few questions about these technical terminologies because I just want you to get used to these things, because the world is now moving very fast. And there are lots of people who are investing on enterprise AI tools, thanks to this Accenture's, McKinsey's, Bains of the world, who come and mint money, and then they just create all these enterprise tools where by the time they invested it, they realize it's waste of money because it's not coming top to bottom. It's not coming bottom up, it's top to bottom. Let's keep an eye. Zoom, who's listening to this conversation, hello Zoom, is actually using the meeting data to train their AI. So I don't mind. use it. But again, if you are fussed about privacy, if your organization is using Zoom, just go back and change the settings within this. Again, there are links with Zoom as provided, but they could have told people that they are doing this, but it's only when somebody found out they came in and they went defensive on this. You might find all the news about Zoom in there. GPT-5 patent has been raised. It's been coming up. Bing Chat is available in Chrome and Safari. But what I want you to do is just, for me, the very first thing when I came about, when I talk about all these amazing language models and stuff is Watson. Right? How many of you know Watson? Watson, I think 4 years ago, even 2018-ish, they created this massive supercomputer where it was using on DNA, genome analysis, and all these things, right? And Watson is still a bigger player. Yeah, totally. Watson is still a bigger player, and now they are coming in to the game as well. So you might need to start to, I'm sure they're going to come out with their own tool. It's not one tool; they might come out with their own thing. But what's a surprise is, because my development team told me, again, the focus for me is to reduce the content little by little, is just to go to a friendly group. So within the circle, the Baachu Connect circle, I'll be placing a lot of content, but you won't see me doing a lot more inside because tech is changing. Facebook's language model is actually at par or even better than ChatGPT, but they have not yet released it to the end user, but it's available for the developers. So when we tested it out, it's actually very, very good. Facebook's. I think at some point it's going to come in. So let's look at other things. Again, I'm going to leave all these things for you to read it because it'll be released it. The point to highlight is obviously the bigger players have formed their own forum, the AI Regulation Forum. Please to go and read this paper. It's called Frontier AI Regulation, published by OpenAI. And they've also given some grants to many universities to come out with interesting things. Obviously, you know where this is going. But again, Gartners and the others are already trying to predict the market is going to be worth X billion, X trillion, etc. Just wait for it to come up, all these things. But again, I also suggest you go and read this Insight report. It's free, McKinsey's Insight on Generative AI's Workforce Impact. Because people are already talking about it. I need to let go 4 of my colleagues in this past 2 weeks who have been working with me for nearly 5 years just because of the same thing. Because you need to be curious. Because I can't sit and follow up. Why is the social media post done like this? Why is the website done like this? Why is this research done like this, etc.? There are tools that does the heavy lift for you, and you just need to apply your brain to get it done. Because the designer I let go. So it's time up because there comes a point where empathy is right, but if it takes more and more of your time, and if they're not willing to help themselves after enough warnings, then that's it. And that's going to happen to a lot of people coming up. When we talked about the lost bidders and stuff, it's happening. So Apple, obviously, it's they're all, Apple and Amazon are still looking into what they're doing. Salesforce is all over this. Salesforce is releasing their own proposal automation tool, as I told you in June. It's now coming up because what they are trying to do here is they are using their sales data, and now they are using the sales data to just say, hey, what you can do to train the data in, because Salesforce is going full on this. And now you're asking, in addition to it, because all the sales intelligence stays in one place, proposals are just a knowledge repository. Why can't you add this? And it just connects to it. It's becoming very, very interesting marketplace, how others are going to be. But on the other end, most of the proposal tools are already saying they're AI enabled and stuff. It's still going to go there. This is interesting. The AI regulation in Europe. How many of you, anybody from Europe other than me, what has happened here is that none of the current big tools are compliant with the European regulation. Hey, Lucy, welcome. None of the AI tools like ChatGPT or like Claude, Stability are actually compliant. Meta, you name it, or actually, if as it stands with the UI AI Act that they released it, none of the tool is actually going to go through it. And this is done by Stanford Research and say this is it. What has happened is there are a lot of tools that's been given, in the UK, in Germany, in France, etc. There are language models being developed just to align with EU Act. But the trouble is, yes, you can align to EU Act, but it needs to be It needs to be practical. It needs to be useful to people. And that's where it comes in, which means the compliance, as in traditional, proposal terms, compliance versus responsiveness, as we call it, there's going to be a lot of compliant tools, but they might not be fit for purpose. And there'll be a lot of tools which are very responsive, which does a lot of things, but that might not be compliant. And where do we put the fine line in? That's it. I think wait for all these things to come up. But that's why they're influencing, they're creating their own regulation, they're trying to do it. But EU rule will be the de facto, and everybody needs to go with it. GPT-5, I just wanted to take it to the next level because GPT-5 is now I know that people are trying to pause this, because this is, at the moment, you are feeding the information, and then GPT is actually doing what you're asking it to do. GPT-5, on the other side, with what you have done, it will start to predict before you ask it. This is what you need, right? This is it. So wait for this to happen in all the Alexas of the world and the Siris of the world to happen. Already they are trying to do it, but GPT-5, that's what they're trying to do on a text level, which meant, again, the data, the point that it's been learned, it's actually already, GPT-4 is 1 trillion. GPT-5 expecting to go tens of trillions, right? So, and all these things are behind the scenes. So whether the point here is, you might be thinking, why is ChatGPT not updating it from September 2021 to it doesn't matter, because they are going to connect it to the web anyway. Their focus is on ensuring it's logical, its reasoning is improved, it's the bias is now being sorted gradually, and they want to ensure that the actual nitty-gritty of the tool is working, rather than to say whether it's the latest data set or something, which is going to happen at any point itself. So if you're not using it, please do use it. And because by far now, it's still the thing. The second one is Claude. The other one which I want to share is what I want to share. God, I forgot. Sorry, I'll get back to it. So prompt engineering, because because we did a course on prompt engineering, which is available in our YouTube channel. It's also available within Baachu Scribble. If you haven't, that is one strong, simple plea. I request is, if you don't follow us in Scribble, please do follow us. If you don't subscribe to us in YouTube, please do subscribe. If you haven't joined Connect, the Circle community, please do join it, because that's the little things that we ask from you, because it's important for us. So prompt is changing. Yes, what I was trying to tell you is this, because the latest ChatGPT, it kind of even tells you, if you don't have a starting point, it tells you, hey, these are the stuff that you can ask me. I know it tells you before, but now they have increased it, which means if you're absolutely new to the conversation, in the past, people were playing with it, but now it has a lot of introductory material that's been added, which is like, hey, this is how you can get the best out of me. That's it. But in your case, what I want to suggest is prompt. You don't need to know more about AI. I mean, like how AI operates, to actually get your thought process. What you need to do here is, you just need to bring your own unique personality and tell, hey, this is what good looks to me. And this is the type of content I want from you. And this is the thing. This is it. So we already talked about the prompt engineering that we talked about. Is you are just giving it an envelope of what you need to do, and that's the thing that still continues. But having understanding about prompt engineering, this is the technical element of prompt. This is what you're going to do. These are the prompts that works for, etc. Please don't put your money on any of those things. Please don't buy anything, because it's not going to work. Because this is it. Whenever you're using AI at work, the first thing is, give your context. It's context first. How to do something rather than just doing it differently. That's it. So what I thought was, I just did a quick guide. I just left it to you, because you need to know your style first. Because what works for Sandeep will not work for Hazel. What works for Hazel will not work for Lucy. What works for Lucy will not work for Jenny. And people will think ChatGPT is writing. No, but the person using it is different. Right. And that's the thing which I always tell people. Oh, because of that, we are going to invest on a bespoke enterprise tool, which is private, which is confidential, which is XYZ, etc. That's the route people are taking. Fine. they are going to burn themselves and they're going to come back. What you need to understand is you just need to tell your key personality traits, which means when you write to it, make it, you can clearly find a difference between the post I write and the post my team writes. You could find it if you go to Baachu's group, so or LinkedIn or email, newsletter, etc. So primarily, feeding into personal, this is it. When you're writing to them, it needs to be concise, it needs to be clear, it needs to be human, it needs to be empathetic, it needs to be powerful. Whatever is it, that's you. And then you have to say, hey, you know what? This is it for. This is who you're writing it for. Ensure it's reasonable for them. You just need to go. And the only way that you're going to get most of it is you just need to use it more often. Because I have a small piece of paper that always with me, so I write it down, which means, oh, I made a dumb mistake on this. If you're using Claude, or if you're using to a certain extent Perplexity is okay. Actually, Claude is increasing, but Bard is bad, because if you are asking a question for the first time, it gives you an answer, and you're asking it to improve second time, third time, fourth time, you're saying you forgot what you said first time. Please answer what I said first. It just asks, what did you ask me to do again? So many of the time you might have this. So even though you know exactly what you need to do, what is it? So noting it down, like what it happens, what's working, what's not working, always helps. So keep that in mind. Again, I'm not going to go all these things. I'll do our best to talk about AI tools and platforms and stuff, but keep this, because it's about you. You need to personalize your AI chat, because that's what's going to dictate it. So again, this final point is, it's only going to get better and better, and we are going to live in this world, and which means let's embrace it more, and let's do a lot more, because it's going to be part of it. I just want to introduce 2 tools today. This really, really amazing. I'm starting to use this as a 4th tab within my thing. This one is very good. If anybody has used it, it's very true, very true. Yeah. If you haven't, I just want you to use it. Pi dot, I'll send you the link. Click, let's go somewhere, pi.ai or pi.ax, something like that. It's super amazing. It's it's the EQ, the highest EQ of any chatbot. Believe me, this one. Because after I came back from Alps, I've been very open, because we talk more about this in the Psychology of Money conversation tomorrow, if you're joining me at 3 p.m. Because there was a course correction in my life, and I was sitting there and reflecting what I was doing in bits and pieces. And every now and then we do get lonely, and every now and then we do want some guidance, but not everybody has the money to go and afford a personal coach or a business coach, or somebody who they can go and talk about it. And I tend to ask questions to Chatgpt and say, hey, I'm down. I just need to let go of these 3-4 people who've been working with me for a long time, but it's been taking too much time. If I continue, I still need to do it. It takes me away from all these things. And you ask the question, it gives an answer, but sometimes generic answer. I asked the similar questions to this one. It was amazing. I just want you to see, and I always say AI is your friend. Use it as self-care is important. In addition to this, I just want you to try to this one. The privacy settings and others, you can set it up, but I'll go and play with this tool. Pi, emotional equivalent, unbelievable. If whatever you're going through, and reach out to me, and if I can be of any help, I can be of any help. But if you think, I can't share that to Bhaskar, I just want to talk to somebody else, but at the same time, I don't want to share it to others. I just want to reflect, use this to reflect. The second tool which I want to cover is this Hireguide, because at the moment we are recruiting 2 video designers, web person, and I'm letting go 2 proposal writers within the team full time, and we are going to shortly freelancing at the moment. But for that to work with this tool, Hireguide is another tool that you can use it if you are recruiting anybody within the company, or if you are going for interviews yourself. I just want you to start to use this. This is started by a couple of guys from LinkedIn. Hireguide, and it's free for 25 interviews, which maybe in a year you might do only 3, 3 roles, but I don't think you might do 25 interviews for these 3 roles, right? Just to go. It's the thought process, it's the clarity of your thinking that this tool helps it. Because initially I just thought I'll go back and ask all the people whom I know, hey, do you have anyone on this? And I normally go with referrals because I hardly advertise any roles, because most of the time I advertise in LinkedIn or anybody else. I get a lot of people who I don't want to work with. But this sort of things kind of brings you clarity. Again, now with ChatGPT, Bard, and Claude, and now with Pi, you can actually start to have conversation. But Hireguide, I just want you to start to use it and can give me your honest feedback. For me, I think it gave me a lot of clarity because it's step-by-step process. And if anybody is looking for roles, or if anybody is, 100%, you can use it for interview prep as well. Yes, totally. Totally. If you are looking for interview prep, leave that to me. Just send me a reminder, Sandeep. I'll look for something else. But yeah, totally. It also helps you before the meeting, what you need to go prepared, what questions you need to ask. 100%, 100%, and I just go for it. Those are the two tools. I don't want to give you more. If you follow AI Scoop, most of the AI news comes in. But what I want to go is to the quiz. So this is the first time I'm actually using quiz in Zoom. I have no idea how this is going to work. So most of you, either you have shared your story in Circle within our platform. So like Jason and Hazel, who have been got the first two spots on the right program, or you have attended everything like Kirstine, Jenny, and others. So you're also invited to the right workshop, and Mariano and others. So I'll confirm. My team has the list. Top of my head, I can't remember, but I saw your attendance, and so I'm sharing that to you. But you can also have another chance to get into that. So there are 25 questions. It's not 30, 25 questions. You just need to think it as a proposal, people. And there should be, some are things, some are funny, but some, whatever you write, it could be wrong answer because the actual character that I gave it for that might not be you. It might be a different personality. So if you score more than 20 on this, I'll give you a seat on the table. But either way, I'm happy that you're trying. So I'm going to open the poll and I'm going to leave it to you. The poll is launched now. The 25 questions, and go and answer the 25 questions. So I have no idea how this sample quiz is going to work. I'm going to stop the recording. It's going to give you 25 questions. I'll give you 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Just play with it. Enjoy. And let me see whether that works. I hope you all got it. So welcome back. Hope the quiz was useful. And if it's helpful, I will do a fun quiz. Not 25 questions, maybe a 10 quiz, fun quiz. Every time when we meet up, or we could split up into small groups and we could do it, because I just want to gradually make it, because we can't help everybody. Because there will be a lot of people who will be sitting on their world. Some will be watching the recording, which is good, but I just want you to turn up live, because turn up live means you can get a lot more out of it. So that's the whole point. But thank you for every single one of you who actually joined and completed. If you have joined and completed, then you will be invited to our Empowered Writer one-day workshop, because it's going to tell you that all the gimmicks that people are going to talk about is like, oh, we all are going to write in the same way. We all are going to write, and it's not going to work in federal government tenders. So we are going to debunk all those things, because I have done it, projects we have done. But at the same time, we just want you to have that community bonding, practical applications where colleagues from India, Middle East, Australia, Singapore, US, UK, Europe, you name it, Middle East, you all will be playing together on this. You'll be doing it. So that's it. So next time we'll have a much bigger challenge. So this is you. Well done. And I'm just going to keep this light because it tells you, I just want to remind you that how far you have come. Because it's very easy to just say, we are going to continue to do it in the same way. I know, we are already letting go of people, and the world, as I mentioned, 30% of the working population, 12 million people or something, especially in the professional services sector, will be let go, will need to move into new roles if they're not willing to change. That's the situation that we're facing in, and it's happening much, much faster than we anticipated. So this is it. While we have a much larger AI community, they receive a newsletter, they watch our recording, but have no idea what they actually do with it. But by joining live, we can work together to understand what is it. But gradually, the Circle community will be much more vibrant, where I just want you to more and more share. I've done this This is the answer I'm getting it. What's your take on this? Work with this. There won't be any human generated content as far as I'm concerned. It will be a optimized content or AI embraced content. So I just want you to be a little bit more active in circles so that we can start to do it. So as I mentioned, what I've requested the team to do that is, there are people who listen to our podcast, there are people who watch our webinars live, there are people who watch YouTube, but we just want to say people who have, there are nearly 60 hours of content in Scribble Talk teaching. These are best practices in proposals teaching, where we have done the episodes, but they are not office hours webinars. So now we are in the process of taking those teaching, which most of it has already been done in the YouTube channel, so you can watch it. So many of the webinars that we have done, the office hours webinars, and the workshops, live workshop that we have done, are actually been uploaded in YouTube, but gradually we are in the process of converting that into audio format as well. So Baachu story is just every now and then I just talk about my journey. Obviously, there's a lot of changes happened within my life in this past 1 year. I'm just documenting it, just telling you what's happening, because sometimes it's important for you to let me know that I'm not okay, and and I'm just sharing it just so that it's also good for you to tell that you are not okay as well. So this also continues. Um, and I openly invite you, if you want to come back and be a guest to talk about in our office hours webinars. If you prefer to come in a slide format, we can host you as a guest. And secondly, if you want to talk about it in a friendly conversation environment, that's where Scribble Talk teaching comes, which means you could pick up a topic, any topic, and we could have a 4 or 5 questions around it, and we can create a lot more questions, and we could have conversation that becomes Scribble Talk teaching, so people can listen that as well. So one person, one-to-one conversation, talking your experience or specific about a subject matter that you have. Or if you want to come and do it in a webinar format, we are there for you. We're happy to host you, because obviously there's a good community. It's going to happen. This could be a good launch pad for you to break your barriers, and your journey is your journey, and it's important. In addition to it, what has also meant is, I'm just sharing to you, is the challenges that I faced help me to go above my level and engage with a lot of inspiring people. I know there are a lot of, it helped me to engage with Martin Luther King's granddaughter. How privileged I am. It engaged me we have podcasts coming out with Dr. Karen Bedi, who might know as the first female professor of police officer in India, Dr. Ram Punyani, IIT professor, advocate, Dr. Terrell Strayon. These two things are there, which means the reason for that is, the content, more or less, I'll be very, very focused on what content I am creating, but I just want the community to come out with their own stories as well, just so that it's going to inspire others. So in my case, I'm slightly going to the top end to inspire you on a very different angle, because we all face challenges in our life, and it's important for us. We have some very strong women advocates who are coming in, not the traditional people, but these are people operating at a very, very top level. So we have race advisor to Barack Obama, who's been interviewed for the podcast. We have professors from Harvard University coming up. So all these things are in there. So listen in if you haven't listened to Dr. Terrell Strayhorn and Dr. Ram Punyani, both on 2 different things. We are bringing in people on Latin American and others as well. So those are the stuff. It's there for you, because the reason is AI comes in other ways. Again, any Scribble Academy members, this meant if you have studied APMP with us, or if you have studied AI with us, or if you have joined the webinar series with us, you are invited. We will unblock the 21-day self-care recording for you, because you could be lonely, you could be on your own, but this helps you, because we went through a program every year, first thing every year, on the first time, new year, new you, 21-day self-care. People are asking it, can we do it over summer? I've just opened up the recording because I don't have the bandwidth to do another new session. So the recordings is there for you. It's going to help you to prioritize. You open up. It's only take 15 minutes. We have a 10-minute meditation and another one deep self-development concept, which I talk about. Then you go and apply that in your life. So it's just there for you. If you're interested, drop a line either directly to me or to hello@baachu.com. We'll simply unlock the recording for you. It's open to Scribble Academy members, including you. So The AI contest, we just opened up. Obviously, we didn't do a great job in sharing it widely, reminding you, etc. But if you have missed the July deadline, you can actually join the August deadline because it's there in Connect. Please do share it. Please do share it. We just want you to share that I am using it and I'm using it in a way it helps me to do more. It helps me to save more. It helps me to do a lot more. Whatever is it, share your thing, and we'll handpick some of the stories. And you know me, I don't handpick, I give everybody. So I just want you to share, that's it. So AI story, we're extending it from July to August. So and if you can go and find Jason and Hazel's story there, and Christina added some comment. Nicole has added some comments there. You could go back and add your story. It helps. And so last month, and I know we have a member of a month, and we have a person who's dedicated. You won't believe every newsletter that we read, that we send, we know who's reading it. We put a point attached to it. Every webinar that we attend, we know who's attending. We attach a point to it. Every LinkedIn post that we do, if somebody likes and comments, we add a point to it. But what we haven't done because of the bandwidth is we actually haven't made it as a fun member of the month, rank people, etc. It's because of the bandwidth. But I think it's again, it's not just going to be me. I'm just going to give it to you now. But collectively, you can share, and collectively, you can vote, and collectively, you can bring it, because I'm not going to be there all the time, because I just want you to say, okay, I want to have a buddy. Fine, Sandeep can partner with Lucy. Jess can partner with Pooja and others, and in that way, you can continue the journey going forward. So that's it. We are going to do that every month now. And in the past, I've just, my team is very good in coming with the analytics of who's who. But when I ask them, who do we need to give it to, they just miss it. This is tomorrow, psychology of money. And I know this is a profound topic, because at what point you put a line in your life and say, I am okay with it, I'm content with it. Because yes, there is always a cycle between being ambitious and being content. And every now and then, we just need to strike a balance. But I'll just thank you for sharing. Love to Hazel. Hazel, well done. Tomorrow we are going to talk about it. It's personal, and many of you are going through this. And again, this meant the direction of travel, as I mentioned, for me, is I'll be focusing more on, we have a couple of tech projects that we're working on, because I took my eye out on those. We'll be looking at that. Mainly equity matters and the Baachu story and stuff will come in, and I'll be handing over the remix of Scribble. Scribble will be a social enterprise very soon, which means we'll be making it as a shareholding company. I'm just sharing it openly now, shareholding company, where most of the Scribble Academy members, you'll now be part of Scribble as a social enterprise going forward, because it's a community-driven enterprise. So I think I've done as much as I can, but I don't know how long I can do it myself. I just want to have the next generation of 100 who I'll be handing it over, who will be taking it to the next 1,000 and the next 1,000 and the next 1,000. That's why we're moving from there. So this is there for you, and every month I update the content. It's not like we have a 2015 syllabus, or we create one workshop, business winning, and then we just do it for the 20 years with the same case study. We don't do that. We change it every month, and people know that if you attend the workshop, you know that if 1 hour ago what I shared, I won't share that 1 hour later, because I just changed it. So any alumni who are part of it, who have done the AI program, again, the plan is just to have a quick refresher with you, just to do it. But if you attend the AI tools webinar, most of them, you're missing only very little, but it's about application. The workshops are there for you. Anytime it's there, open. Again, we got a flurry of messages on, hey, please don't change the proposal mastery from 795 to 495. We have just put it back again at 495, because it's a 10-hour content. It's not like we have the same content that we share. We just need to change it. We have reduced it again to the standard price. If you're free, join us from August 18th onwards. It's just there. So otherwise, look at the geography of where you are from. And these are the right workshop, which meant if you're from the India time zone, pick up a date. If you're from Middle East, if you're from USA, if you're from UK, these are the dates. So if the US and Canada, it's September 29th. If it's UK and Europe, it's August 25th. If it's India, we do monthly, because the volume of people we have in India is a lot more. India, Middle East. Doing that, we're trying to plan it with Austria, New Zealand as well. So look into the time scale and you join us. It'll be good to have you there. As I mentioned, we opened up all our APMP certifications. It's all up and right. And some of you come and download our tools and templates. The best thing I suggest is become a member for 1 month, $25, and you have all the content in for you. So I'm not fussed. You can download it, you can do what it takes. Or if you come out to $199 for the year, then every month, whatever the content that we pump in is just there in your dashboard. It's nothing $199 for the year. The amount of content that we produce is there for you. So again, every now and then we do find people downloading just one thing for $10, $15. It might be beneficial for you to to become a member for a month for $25 so that you get everything. Or if you think you might need a lot more, just get it $199. You have it. So it's there for you. You just do it. So as I always say, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for joining, and thank you for sharing. So I have noted down. I'll have a look at how the Zoom has done the tools. I hope you found it useful, and people who are going to do the recording. Sorry you missed the quiz, but it's there. But thank you for everything, and I'll see you, maybe some of you, tomorrow at the Psychology of Money. We'll talk, and we'll go from there. Until then, lots of love to you and your family. Stay healthy, stay happy. If we or my team can be of any help, let us know. That's it. So have a good evening, good night, or very good day. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining.